Today I'm going to be showing you guys how you can finish Golden Trophy all by yourself. I saw this meme on the Rec Room subreddit, and it's basically just like 90% of the difficulty of Golden Trophy is just randoms ruining everything, so I tried playing it by myself and seeing if I could finish it. So this was actually a lot more difficult than I thought it would be, since I'm sort of a mediocre double shotter with the bow. It took me 7 tries, or 8 tries I guess, 7 failed attempts to actually beat the final boss and finish Golden Trophy by myself. And in this last attempt, I actually failed on the final stage of the final boss, which was infuriating, but eventually I got it. So I'm just going to speed through this first part because honestly it's really easy. I think most people could do the first couple levels just because there's so few enemies. And once again on Act 3, pretty simple since all the enemies are in a straight line, so I just kind of blew through this level once again. So level 4 is where it starts to get a little bit interesting because there's lava and quite a bit more of the enemies actually spawn. So you can see right here I'm kind of cornered, but it doesn't really matter because those enemies are so weak. And this is where having the bow really helps because you can launch, you don't need to switch weapons and you can still hit the flying goblins. Now you can see they actually get more of a chance to shoot at me on this level, and so, I don't know, I think this is the first moderately difficult level in that, you know, I actually have a chance of dying here. You know, if I mess up, I'll get hit. So, you can see right here, just waiting, and now I can take the sword to take out these guys. Now, my strategy is to run behind them as they drop their axe and then just hit their target a couple times with the sword, and it's pretty much foolproof. If you jump at the wrong time, you'll actually die. It's a little bit weird, and sometimes they can be glitchy, but it usually takes them out nice and quick. And so here, this is just the last round goblins, and you can see at this point, I pretty much won, so I'm just gonna start to head over to the final platform. And so now I'm on Act 5. Now this act is a little bit different because it's very enclosed and is in some ways similar to Act 3. And so really I'll just speed through some of these parts because it's pretty easy as long as you don't trigger too many waves at the same time. If you do that, then it becomes difficult or impossible because you know, it's in such an enclosed space, and if you get surrounded, it's pretty much game over. But as long as you trigger one wave at a time and know where they're going to spawn, this wave is actually pretty easy. And so now I'm on Act 6. Now I personally think this is one of the hardest, if not the hardest, acts to finish on your own. And that's just because so many of these red goblins spawn just all over the place. They love to sneak up behind you and just take you out. You can see I got lucky here. Almost everything spawned there on this side, and I had an easy job just picking off these two, which spawned on the other side. Sometimes you can get a ton spawning on the other side, which is a lot harder, in my opinion. Now, after this, the larger goblins, this is the first time we see the spinny large goblins, and these take 4 sword hits to take out, so it's slightly harder. I think that makes them 33% harder to kill than the green ones. Now, this is the last stage, but just so many things happen at once on this stage. Like, literally in every single spawn spot, something spawns. And so I'm just kind of frantically running around here, trying to pick off as many as I can while I'm doing that, but really I'm just trying to avoid the ones walking on the ground, because they're so fast, and they just spawn all around you. So yeah, you can just run around and they sort of get grouped into one area, and that really helps you know where all of them are, know where to run next, that sort of thing. Now, at this point, I've pretty much won the level because all of the long distance, the ranged goblins are dead. Really, the biggest concern here is I make some sort of mistake and get hit by the axe swinger, but I just trigger him so he swings, grab the sword, and now it's nice and easy to finish him off. I can just jump down, hit him twice, and then hit him 2 more times, and the level's finished. Now, I'm actually going to bring my sword to the next level for this one, because believe it or not, there are no swords that spawn on this level. And I like to use the sword to take out those larger green goblin guys, and one of those spawns. Now, right there, if you saw that, I got super lucky. Let me rewind that so you can see exactly what happened. So I definitely got really lucky there, but I kept playing because, I had already failed once at this point. And so, yeah, the key here is really just to stay up high. I don't know why I dropped down before, but yeah. And all the while I bring my sword with me, because eventually you'll see there is a large green charging goblin that I will use it to take out. It's difficult to take it out with the bow, especially on this level, and you'll see why. But right now, pretty easy. All of these are green, so they're basically one hit for me. And so once again, yeah, this part's pretty easy. And so there I threw the sword, that got one hit, and then I double shotted it, and it actually counted, which I thought was pretty cool. And looking back, it looks like I somehow cheated or something, because the sword just kind of, I don't know, nestled up against it. It didn't really look like it hit it. But I thought that was really cool. So now we're in the really narrow part, the narrowest section in all of Golden Trophy, and this is where the sword really comes in handy. So all you have to do here, well, I had to wait for that guy to spawn, because otherwise he takes you out from behind. But otherwise, all you have to do is just run back here and hit him 3 times. Super easy. Otherwise, you have to wait for him to draw him out, and then, yeah, it's just bad. Now, normally enemies spawn right here, which is why I was just waiting. But for some reason, they didn't spawn this time, and I can't figure out why that is. This part is a little bit tricky just because you only have one direction to go in, and if you get caught off guard, you can get taken out by these guys. So I just decided to wait back here and take them all out in this little hallway, and then just sort of wait for the flying red goblins to sort of just show themselves. And with this tactic, no problem. They really never even had a chance to hit me. So just like that, we're moving on to the second to last stage. So this stage, Act 8, is a little bit tricky. Notably, the last wave is difficult because really every single kind of enemy spawns at least once, with the exception of maybe the charging goblin. I don't know, we'll see. But you can see here, the key is really just to outrun these guys and then turn around and take them out. And if they get too close, all you have to do is jump off this balcony, and they have to pathfind all the way back. Now I'm using this little tower as sort of a defense against their bullets. And right here, I got really lucky. You can see one of the bullets kind of just passed me. Really close. Can't say that was super intentional. And now here, some more of the stronger red goblins spawning. Once again, pretty easy. Where it starts to ramp up is when the larger charging and spinning goblins spawn. So right here you can see 2 of them have spawned. Once again, I pick up the sword, and just try and knock out all 4 hits nice and quickly. And so to finish off the stage, all I have to do is take out this guy, and then the last wave will spawn. So once again, get 4 hits on that guy. Now, I'm aware that that guy spawns right there, and so I sort of do a jump around. I've died plenty of times just thinking that I can walk on that path, but he can actually hit you through that wall. Just something to note if you try this yourself. Now, at this point, I just have to take out these guys that I'm aiming at right now, and then there's one more green guy right here. It's a little bit narrow on that path, but I sort of jump over the lava. And I was mistaken, this is actually the last stage. You can see guys on the floor spawning just basically everywhere, which is why this stage is so hard. I have to jump off the balcony there because that guy was going to hit me. That was behind me. And so right now I'm just kind of panicking because there's so much going on and I'm not really aware of all the bullets in the air right now. So I'm just sort of trying to stay behind walls as much as I can. And I survived that part. Really, that was just because I was constantly on the move and staying behind those pillars as much as I could. So I minimized the chance of being hit by a bullet. Now, this guy, I'm just going to exploit his pathfinding to sort of bow him and just minimize the risk with a sword. And so that's the second to last stage, and now it's time for the final boss fight. Now, I was really nervous because the last time I made it here, I failed like right before the end. And this is definitely the hardest stage, just because, once again, it's so open, and basically every single possible goblin spawns. So it gets really difficult toward the end. You can see here I'm just making sure I walk around with some extra caution, because last time I got taken out by one of those bullets, and it was really frustrating. So all you have to do here is just wait for him to turn around, and then you can hit him with the bow and then hide behind something. And that's how you take out the boss when you don't have anyone else to distract him. Now, right now I'm just sort of staying behind this pillar, so or these bricks, so that he can't hit me, and then just sort of methodically taking out each of the mobs as they come up the stairs. Now, this strategy doesn't work for all stages because eventually they'll start to spawn behind me. But here, I'm just a little bit nervous, so I take out this guy first, and then I can go back for the charging guy. And so that's the first wave. And now I can just resume, sort of double-shotting the target when he's not looking, and then ducking behind a corner when he starts to shoot at you. So you can see again, turns around, and then the next wave spawns. So this one's a lot harder. You can see there's guys coming up the stairs right now, and I see the axe, and I'm a little bit nervous because there's so many goblins behind him. See, I can't just jump behind him right there because otherwise I'll just get taken out by the goblins behind him. And there you saw something actually spawned, what would have been behind me. So here I go, I have a second chance at him. This time I can use the cover of the pillar to avoid the king's bullets. Still a little bit of a close call though. That was really nerve-wracking for me. And then all I have left is that guy. And so that's I believe that was the second wave. Yeah, second wave done. And so now I can just resume. I can resume hitting him in the back. I'm just going to do it from over here this time, just because a lot of things are going to spawn over there, and I just find it a little bit easier to start over here, but you can do it either way, and it's a little bit harder to hit the target from over here too. So here I just have to wait. It's really just a waiting game for this boss fight, especially on single player, because, you know, on multiplayer you can have someone distract him and then bow him. And there we go. So we got a third wave spawning, and I'm just trying to take out the larger goblin from right here. I'm forced to jump off that balcony because otherwise that guy would have hit me. And once again, kind of panicking because I have bullets coming from pretty much everywhere. But I learned my lesson from last time and really worked to stay behind the pillars as much as I could. And you can see here, I'm definitely a little bit less nervous now because I've taken out most of the ground goblins, and so now all I have left is to sort of just dodge these bullets, which in general I'm pretty good at because, you know, I play paintball, and I like to think of myself as being, you know, a decent paintball player. So, and here we go. Basically, all I have left to do is take out this last flying goblin, and I can resume from back here. And I believe this is the last, yeah, this is the last stage, so all I have to do is hit him a couple more times. You can see I'm a little bit annoyed that he saw me there, but there, and that's it. The hero is victorious. I should say the hero, not the heroes. So yeah, 170k, no deaths, clearly an S rank, but yeah, I find that really fun. You know, it's definitely a lot more challenging, but yeah, once you get it, yeah, it's really satisfying to know that you completed a quest that was meant for 4 people. Granted, it is a fairly easy quest by comparison, but you completed a 4-person quest all by yourself. So yeah, that's how you can beat Golden Trophy all by yourself. I think this was challenging to record, but I think now that I've, you know, gotten a lot better at double shotting, I might actually have a go at doing Crimson Cauldron all by myself. So yeah, subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video and want to see maybe me try to do Crimson Cauldron in the future.